All right, cool. So I wanted to introduce you. I'm really excited to have you here, but this is somebody who has honestly inspired people, I think, every single day and is doing an incredible job going outside to actually do the work. Sandy Alibo, as the founder of Surf Ghana, has been using board sports, surfing and skating, to really, and what they kind of cultivate at their core to promote education, social inclusion, youth empowerment. And to me, I think Surf Ghana in practice, sort of as a collective, has been able to accomplish all of these things and so much more, including cultivating creative communities within Ghana and empowering females in sports and within their community, and really just using sport as like a driver for positive mental health and community collective. You've been around since 2016 doing skate tours throughout Ghana and West Africa. You've formed the Skate Gal Club, meant to really empower women in Skate Ghana through, the galvanizing kind of around skating. One of the most exciting developments taking place right now with Surf Ghana is a skate park for Accra titled Freedom is the name of the skate park, which you've been able to do through crowdfunding, I believe, and through securing incredible sponsors like Virgil Abloh, Daily Paper, Vans, and others. And yeah, I'm just excited to have you here, Sandy. Thank you for joining Success Aches. This is our seventh episode.
Seven. We did it.
Seventh episode, yep. And thank you for joining us.
I want to thank you, Troy, for putting me on to Sandy's story, because it's so inspiring to see, a woman really give her life to helping people, and what you've done in Ghana, and the things that that you have planned to do, and the people that you've gotten to buy in and help you with these huge platforms it's just been so inspiring. And I can't wait to just dig into your story and learn more about where you came from, and how you got to the place where you you saw this niche, and you saw something that wasn't there, and how you felt like, I think that this is important, and I think that I can be the person to bring this culture give a light to this culture in my community. So it's special, and I'm very excited to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm really honored to share my experience always with people from abroad. Who love skateboarding, who share the same passion, but also the same motivation. In everything that we are trying to do to develop Africa, to develop Black representation in general. So yeah, I can't wait to share my experience with you and give you more detail about that project, the Freedom Skatepark, or I mean anything that we've done so far. It's a crazy journey. I have so many stories, fail and stuff to share. So yeah, just feel free to ask anything, and I will be really happy to give any comments about my life for the past 4 years.
Thank you. No, I really want to start kind of further back, before you even started Surf Ghana. I want to go back to, I think it would be prior to 2016, because that's when it started. And I want everybody to get the full picture of what this is, if they watch this whole thing. But I want to get an understanding of you a little bit more. So I know you're from France, right? And your parents are from Martinique, I believe. And I want to get into your experience, really just like when you first were growing up in France, your experience with skateboarding there in general, and I don't know if your first trip to Ghana was when you realized you wanted to start Surf Ghana, but I'd love to find out more just about that whole transition and you really realizing that you wanted to go ahead and start this collective, and really what it was at the beginning. And I'd love to hear more about that kind of time period in this journey.
Yeah, so to let you know, in France, I got a master, multimedia master. So I was really always been interested in, internet, digital, sports. That was really my favorite topic. Like advertising, etc. So I did a master in communication, and after that, I started working for Orange, a company like MTN or Vodafone, and a mobile company, and I was in charge of the action sports strategy for the brand. That means I was working with skateboarder, surfer, beer mixer, ski freestyler, snowboarders, and this is how I discovered the whole business, behind that kind of sport. Even if it's a niche sport in general, there is a lot of potential, but above all, there is a passion that you can't find in other sport. And because there is no money, to compare to other sport, I feel like everybody is really creative, and what I love the most with the skateboarders and surfer in general is like there is a culture of do it yourself. That means, for example, a footballer is gonna play football, but a skateboarder is gonna build his own obstacle. Like he's gonna make his own clothes. Like he's gonna organize his own event. So if you compare the culture to other sports, like basically a skateboarder do everything. You have a skateboarder is gonna be a filmmaker, a sports photographer. He's gonna be a skate park builder. Like every day, like they do their own thing, and this is why I fell in love with that sport in particular, even with surfing, because they really pay attention to the environment. I don't know, I feel like they were really activists, in kind of ways. They really show what they want and what they don't want, like, and they can create their own t-shirt, their own brand. They go with the flow, but at the same time they say no. They say no to the society. They refuse a lot of things. They are really open-minded. They love traveling. So it's kind of vibe. It's not like only sport competition, like the kind of vibe that you can feel like maybe in basketball or football, even if I love that vibe. But I feel like in skateboarding and surfing, I always been inspired, So the thing is, like, I was in this industry and I was literally maybe maybe one of the 10 black of the whole industry in Europe. Okay.
Mhm.
So when I arrive, at every event, people look at me like, wow, okay, who are you? Like, are you the assistant of someone? And I have like like I was marketing manager, I was a sports strategist, but nobody believed in like, okay, a black woman can be in that kind of industry because, it's not for you, like how can you just talk about skateboarding, surfing, So I have that kind of, feedback all the time, and it was really frustrated. And I also starting talking to myself and like, okay, if in France, in Europe is complicated, why I try to focus on something else, So I started also traveling in Africa to connect, like to reconnect with my ancestor, my origin, because in Caribbean, it's particular, like it's like people forget us. I don't know how to explain to you, but it's just like French, they always say that okay, Martinique is for us, we belong to them. It's like the Caribbean vibe, it's holidays, like they have their own island. And in Africa, it's like they totally forgot the Caribbean, like it's just like we don't exist anymore. And I
Yeah.
feel like totally disconnected, as a Martiniquese. So I felt like coming back to Ghana or going to South Africa, it was for me also a way to discover myself, because in Europe, like definitely we talk about black people at school, like about apartheid, about violence, about like dictature, about like so many things negative, like slavery and stuff, and you feel like okay, if you don't belong to that, like you belong to what, like so
Yeah.
you feel a little bit lost. So when I came to Ghana in 2016, it was just a trip, like just a trip to discover the culture and the vibe of West Africa. And naturally, because I'm a huge fan of skateboarding and surfing, I connect with the community through Instagram, and I met them and I literally fell in love. And I was like, wow, that's huge. There is a community, but they are totally invisible. So I was like, okay, how do I do? I have skills, I have experience, and I know that social media, they can change basically everything. They can change the structure of the business. And I was working for Orange, and even in our own contract, I was mentioning to the sport athlete that they need to be on social media, etc., etc. So I knew already the opportunity, but also the necessity of every athlete to be represented on social media. So, I give them some phones. I start collecting equipment for them. I created an Instagram account, and this is how the stories start. Like basically. So it was really, the idea was to develop sustainable tourism, but also to create a page where we can improve Black representation. Because when I came to Ghana, I was really sad that I was seeing at the beach, like diaspora or expats, like most of the time surfing, but Black surfers were not there. And I was like, that's a shame because we're in Ghana. So, and I just understand that that's the main problem everywhere. There's no Black in advertising, no Black on the website. So every Ghanaian that I met on my first trip, they were like, oh, it's not for us, like, and I was like, why? They say, yo, I don't know. Like, it's just not for us.
I can
So this
relate
is
to that.
yeah, so this is why I started that project, to improve Black representation, African representation in board sport. And I knew also that there is a huge opportunity because there is now officially skateboarding and surfing at Olympic Games. And Africa, I still think that they don't even know. So I see a huge opportunity for to develop, like, the business industry, the industry of skateboarding and surfing, and develop entrepreneurship through sports, to board sport, etc. Yeah, so that's was my first, like,
Mm.
idea when I came for the first time in 2016. And after that, you start coming 1 month, 3 weeks. After that's 2 months, three months, and you're like, wow, okay, maybe I should move to Ghana. Like, why not? Like, I spent my entire life in France, and I was like, I love that country, like everything. But I felt like we're a new generation. We don't think, just one way. And I felt like me, myself, I love, like sharing new experiences. And I felt like, okay, Ghana was maybe a new home for me, a new way to express myself, and not, to be in just like this seat in particular. I love set design, I love art direction, I love I'm really a creative person actually. But in France, when you study, people say, oh, okay, you're gonna be a project manager, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, like. But in Ghana, I feel like you can have like 10 jobs at the same time. You can be what you want actually. So this is how I felt when I came here. Because if I don't know if you know, but Ghana, I think there is the most creative scene in Africa actually. Like, it's just huge, like the population is under 50. The population is under 25 years old. Like, represent 57%. So they are multi-talented. You can see Afrobeat. The Afrobeat scenes is huge. You have amazing illustrator, photographer, filmmaker. All the music video, they are produced here right now. So I felt so inspired, and I was like, this is not only about skateboarding and surfing. It's gonna be a possibility for me to develop the skate culture, the surf culture, but also highlight all the creative scene in Ghana through that project.
I can definitely see how, like, coming from France and coming from a place where people of color are kind of put in a box, and you feel like I can't really do, well, the things that I want to do aren't really, um the light isn't really shed on them
Mm-hmm.
in a positive way. And then coming to Ghana and seeing people that look like you all doing these creative things, doing these really cool things, and you're seeing like, yo, the light should be here. Like, there are people here doing really, really amazing things. And if I can be here and help bring a light to here, if I can inspire others that look like me.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's like I read something you said where you were like, you identified kind of Ghana also just because of those reasons as like a market, where you were like, you just said, you knew that the creative scene there was really special, in 2016, and it's probably only grown. And I remember when I called you the first time, I told you that friends of mine, even in the music business, who have family and other friends that live in Ghana, were like, I remember they all made a trip to Ghana. Like, it was like 2 Christmases
Yeah,
ago.
I remember.
There was like a ton of people we knew went out there, and I was like, there's something going on that's just so special. And when I read about how you kind of identified that, and then to think about how you wrapped that into skateboarding, which like at its core stands for freedom, from what I can tell. I'm not a skater, so I don't want to talk too much on the sport, but like all the things you were saying at the beginning about how, like, you know, Payne was a football player, I was a basketball player. I know what it's like when you show up, it's set up, it's organized. There's a political system behind the sport already, like that's built up. And then like I'm looking at skateboarders now, I'm 29 years old and I'm jealous. I'm like, yo, these guys get to just go ride around like the street, and they get to go hang out with their friends, and they get to get creative in where they skate. And you're talking about filmmakers and creatives, and to think about all of that taking place is kind of natural, I think, for the sport. It seems like regardless of where it is, but then to think about it taking place in in Ghana, and in certain countries that already have, you know, these scenes that need the spotlight shined on them is really exciting to me.
No, it really is, because I never thought, like you said, like I never thought that people like me skated or surfed, because it isn't advertised. It isn't in the light of like people that are black surf. Like that's just never been a thing. But when we got into this and got into your story and started doing the research, and I started looking at some of the videos on YouTube, I was like, yo, I need to go get a skateboard. I want to be in the community, because it's really cool to see you not just being active, you know what I'm saying, in the sport, but being immersed into the community where you want to like help people in other ways, help Black women be not intimidated by the sport. Like, can you talk on that as well?
Exactly. I think there is 3 points really, really interesting now. It's not, for me, it's not a trend, but for some people, it's new perspective, and I would love to talk about it. The first point is like maybe the old generation that were really thinking of, return on, on business, like it's like business, everything that you do, like, do you have return on investment, like. But the new generation now is what we call, what I call like is return on society, like you can have fun, you can make money, but we arrive at that point that we can't just be selfish. It's over, like, like our ocean, like they are getting like devastated, the way the politics things has to be different, so we need to be actor, we need to be active, we need to do more. And I feel like that project, it's exactly what I want to do. I was like, I want to develop business because we need to eat, we need to have a house, we need to pay our bills, like it's the real life. But we still can give, we can give back to the society, but we can give back in a genuine way. I don't know how to explain that, but I feel like now I believe that we don't need specifically to help. We need to think in another way. We are investing, That's why I say since the beginning, if you see the page, I don't beg for money. I always say, like, please invest in us, invest in us, invest in that project, because that's the future. We are building the future with a collective, with the new generation. We sit around the table and we talk, we brainstorm, and we work with the native, we work with the diaspora, we work with institution, we work with brand, we work with everybody, and we are building that skate park. That's the first time we do that. In Africa, you have always like politics, government that do things, and you have brands that do things, and you have natives that try to do something, but for the first time we sit, we make calls, and we say, okay, now we're going to work together, because that's not possible. We're not going to build Africa just by ourselves, like it has to be a discussion with everybody, because everybody is concerned right now by that problem in particular, you see. And the third point is like, is the collective, like it's something really new. And I feel like, in the past, the way we think is like, okay, I have an idea, and I'm going to develop my idea, but now I feel like, first of all, social media create a new perspective about how we're gonna work. Because the way I started my project and the way is here right now is just because of the community. Thanks to the community, you see, it's like we talk together every day, we improve, we fail, we share so many experiences, but we are together. And that's why I created that form of organization, collective. Now you can see it all around the world, women collective, art collective, music collective. But in Ghana, since we launched that project in 2016, now you can find like Lamem Gang is a music collective, Super Jazz Club is a music collective. I invite you to check that on Spotify. You're gonna love it, guys.
Yeah.
You have also a woman collective. You have art collective. It's just amazing. Everybody try to, you know, structure their project. And for me, this is what Africa need actually. It's like we have talent, but we don't have project manager. And in Europe or US, we have multitude of project manager, but we don't have so many talent to compare to Africa, you know. So I feel like now the balance is coming back. Is you know, is like it's a new way, you know, like I'm just really inspired, you know, every day because I feel like I'm bringing with my skills what they need, a project manager. But the talents they have already, you know, like they have already that talent. I'm just giving them a push, you know, like, and I'm always happy to say that the collective for me is the best structure to grow in Africa because there is no hierarchy. We're practicing the brainstorming. We accept the test and learn process, you know, like it's just like, okay, we don't have just one strategy, one vision, and if it doesn't work, that means we fail everything. No, it's just like we also need to understand that there is so many different parameters. Sometimes is not the right moment, is not the right team, is not the good idea, but finally we are learning in the process, you know. And what I'm happy also with that project is like we are building the new entrepreneur, you know, like because sometimes education in the past was really like, okay, you need to have the degrees, your master, you need to pay $50,000, and okay, you're gonna succeed. But in Africa, it's not like this, you know. Like first of all, who can pay that amount? You know, it's impossible. So they need to save maybe 20 years to go to school. It doesn't make any sense. So I'm trying also to push that idea that you can really learn by yourself on social media, tutorials with mentor, and mentors are available now. You can talk to anybody on Instagram, Facebook, and you're gonna have surprise because so many people are available to give some feedback, to organize a Zoom call, to help people, you know. So that's why I'm so impressed by the new generation. These new tools would change totally the perception of education and also the networking, you know, like the way we network to compare to our parents in the past. We were sending an email at info at, you know, like, or you make calls and nobody pick up the phone. But now, like, even, you know, an influencer who has 1 million follower, like he's gonna check his DM because, you know, he feel the pressure. People is gonna put a screenshot and say, yeah, he didn't answer to me for the past 3 months, you know, like you don't know. So basically the pressure is like everywhere. And I'm really I think it's a new good thing for the Black community actually, because social media change the whole game, change the whole game for us. Before, we don't have the network. Oh, too bad. We don't have the media. Too bad. We don't have you know, the rich family. We don't have the power, you know, like. But now with social media we have a voice, and that's also how I build my project. South Ghana, sometimes people say, wow, you achieved so many things. And I was like, guys, you know, I start on social media in a country that I don't even know, with no network. I don't know the language. I just press the button like DM, you know, like keep posting, created content with zero network, you know, like. So I'm trying to say to the new generation that everything is possible. It's not like an American dream or something like this. It's real. It's possible, but it takes time, of course. Like, do you have 5 years, you know, like, I don't know, but I'm saying that that's something can really definitely help the new generation to understand that it's really possible if they want, you know, if they want, and if they also accept to work together. That's something really new also.
And you're showing everybody, especially creatives, that you can do it another way. Like, because there is this way of like, to be able to have power and inflict real change, you need a suit and a tie, you need to be buttoned up, and you need to like do that through an avenue where you're not having fun. And like in this avenue, using surfing, using skating, where the perception of skating and surfing is like that's a fun activity, and like you can't do business and also do that. And it's like, no, you've shown people that like, yo, through skating, through surfing, I've been able to have a group of collectives come together, and we're making real change in the community. Like we have the power, and we have a real structure to this. Like, this is a real business that you've built, and in a space where people kind of look at it as like, that's not how you do it. No, this is the new way.
Yeah, and I love the like thinking about it now, I love how you went there and you saw this community already kind of existing to a degree. And then like you said, you just kind of started putting them on social media, and then I'm sure it started building just from there, you know, into more, and you probably had more ideas, and other people in the collective had ideas of doing things that would keep adding to the excitement around the collective and the moments that you build together. And I love how you talk about how this isn't like asking for money or for a handout. You're like, yo, invest. Brands should invest. People should invest because there's something happening here. And to me, that's like that's just so exciting. That energy coming from you and from Surf Ghana is really exciting, because it's like, you know, you're like, wait, what's happening there? You know, like what's happening? Like, like it makes you not want to miss out, right? Like I want to get on a plane and just go see it with my own eyes. I'm like, yo, what's going on? You know?
Definitely, because in society, the perception of a lot of the perception on TV and in our media is that we feel sorry for Africa. We feel sorry, like we there is no pity in this right here. Like there's something special happening, and people need to wake up. And it's like it feels good to see Black people coming together and really doing something that I feel like is going to change the world.
Yeah, and it's also like you're already just changing people's lives every day by bringing these people together, by them like helping each other get other opportunities in fields like photography, or like, you know, in the creative fields, or even just what they're doing in their lives, being able to talk about it, you know, in a safe space around a positive sport, you know, where people get to just be young, you know, and be themselves, or just be free in a sense. But I think I would love for you to just kind of say in your terms what Surf Ghana is. You know, I think it's important for anybody watching to just understand, right, what Surf Ghana is, because I feel like it's much more than just a club of people that get together, a collective, a community of people that just get together and just either skate or surf.
Of course. So Surf Ghana is a collective of surfer and skateboarder based in Ghana, and which we are trying to develop job opportunity, develop the well-being and education of the youth in Ghana, you know. But what is important is we trying to empower them through skateboarding and surfing. So how it look like? For example, a lot of association, imagine like when you help the youth is the children and everything, but we are really focusing on the young entrepreneur, young adults in particular. So we really focus on their skills. Every time someone joins the collective, we ask her first, what are your skills? What do you do besides skateboarding? Are you a chef? Do you like weaving? Do you like the piano? Do you like, I don't know, do you rap? I don't know, anything, you know, like, and we try to focus on that the whole time. Like, so for example, if we have an event, we always ask, okay, we want to do the logistics. We want to be the filmmaker. We want to be the sales manager. We want to be the photographer. We want to be the shaper who's going to do the skate obstacles, you know, like, so everybody has his own role. But beside his role, we have also job, because what's happening right now is like there is a lot of brands who want also to collaborate with us, because they feel since the beginning that we're not building an NGO, we are building a brand. So a lot of people now starting, you know, ask us to be consultant, you know, like, and ask the skateboarders in Ghana, okay, what do you think about this brand, this bottle, this project, this event? And they get invitations, they do skate performance, they do skate lessons. So basically they are artists, you know, like we have an agency and we work in-house, you know, like, so it's just beautiful experience for them, because most of them, they are out of school, they're unemployed, and they just skate. And I'm trying to explain to the parents and even the family of other people to say that now they're not just skates. Like, for example, we have Azuma in the group We Love Fashion is living in Cantamento is the second biggest second-hand market, you know, like in the world, you know. So that's really huge. And he check all the clothes. He has a budget per week, and he custom all the clothes. And after that, we push them on social media, and by DM, he gets some additional revenue per month. You know, so I'm really excited, because for me, for example, he's gonna be a leader to build the first second-hand skate shop in Ghana, for example, so this is an experience who's going to lead him to another job, but a full-time job, you see. So we are learning, practicing, but it gives them really like a good experience as an entrepreneur. The same way that, for example, Jovita, she was out of school also, so I teach her how to weave. She meets other artisans. She learning how to do set design, and now every time we have production, etc., she come as an assistant, etc., etc. And yesterday she came with me in the shop, and she tried to sell her own plant hanger in the shop, etc. So it's an amazing process, because it's like, okay, you need money, so every day, how are we gonna do it, so you teach them how to talk, how to get, to lead an interview, to go to a shop and sell their own stuff. Is like it's a process. And we have also Adi is like a motion designer. He loves cartoon and everything. He's doing this for years, and now every time we do a skate a skate video, is in charge of doing all the motion design for that video in particular. But now he's more than skateboarding, because he has a lot of clients just asking him to do what he loves, you see. So that project for me, it gives just wings to talent, so me, I feel like I'm a life coach, like I'm coaching them, pushing them, but they're already talented. They are like, for me, they are superhero already, skateboarders, like they are really courageous. They are really activists in general, and I feel like they just need like support. And in Ghana, what is really hard is like, the families are really strict about the culture, the tradition, etc. So when you say to them that you want to stop school, first of all, like, they really feel like you are ignorant. The second point is like, when they can't afford you to pay the school, etc., they really assume that you're going to work to the market, and you're going to try to do something, but not really relevant. So when you tell them that you're going to skate, yeah, you need to imagine how they feel. But when you start telling them that you're going to travel to Lomé, you're going to travel to France because of skateboarding, you get interviewed by Vogue because of skateboarding, you're trying to make money, and maybe half of what they earn in 1 week, like through skateboarding, they start thinking in a different way. Now we have even parents who call me and say, okay, can my kids can be part of the collective? I want to give him more opportunity. And I'm like, you see? So it's just the perception, but the perception change with opportunity.
Yeah.
Job opportunity is money. In Africa, like money is everything.
Yeah.
And I understand, because we need to remember that in Europe, okay, the average salary is maybe 1,000 euro, but here is like is 80 euro, like. So when you have this, of course we don't have the same dream, here is not like you just want to eat, pay your bills, like that's it. Leisure come after, like. So
Exactly.
there is a long way to go, but there is a lot of hope, and I'm happy to contribute with that project. Even if I can, help like 100 kids, I'm good with that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's and I know you've spoken about this before, but like a lot of the keyword, and especially like I even just Googled the definition of it, but like collective, just using that word, and you told me you founded it as like the Surf Ghana Collective officially, and just through the actions and like what you're talking about, it's like everybody is supporting each other, and nobody's working for somebody else's ultimate best interest. They're all working for each other's best interest, which is why I think also like, even me personally, when I watch the videos or I look into Surf Ghana or I go on the Instagram, I'm like, that's like the ultimate way to live in a lot of ways, right? It's like to be with people, enjoying your time, in a positive way, but like in a way where you're not worried about, is this person trying to benefit more off me, or am I trying to benefit off that person? It's like you're all just trying to help each other through the things you're passionate about. And I think that's one of the most exciting things about the energy that Surf Ghana has around it is that, so like if that existed down the street here for me, and maybe, in some form, I'd be like, how do I sign up? How do I sign up right now? Yeah, because, especially in the US, where it's like we work for, it's similar in France. It's like, and I'm sure it's similar in Africa in a lot of ways as well, but it's like you work for somebody, or maybe you work for yourself, but if you're working for somebody or you're working for something, you're going towards a specific goal, and everybody around has to be towards that specific goal, which can be good, but it's also like well, what about the fact that Payne loves doing this, but I love doing that? How do we support each other in that while working together? You know, and I think it's just a really refreshing approach that I know people over here in the US could use for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it to for the avenue to be, you know, a sport, or just for the avenue to be something that most people would look at as like that's not real work, but for there to be real success in it in their eyes and in a creative's eyes. It feels good. It feels good because there's always been this one way that that we've all been pushed down our throat to be able to get to success or money or whatever it is to get to be able to pay to be able to provide for our families. So to see a way where kids can be kids, they can dream, they can do, you know, what they love to do, and be supported.
Yeah, and you're really taking like the digital world, and in a way, if you think about it, in my opinion, you're not only changing as a collective the people who's in its lives, but their kids' benefits and their grandkids' benefits are going to be much greater, because as the world continues to see things like this, and as people do invest, like you already have, you know, I want to hear more about this, but you've worked with companies like Vans and Daily Paper, which has their own incredible story, and Virgil. It's like, as these things happen, and as you bring, you know, the skate park to life, and you help these people out and they find jobs in these other fields, that's going to have an effect way bigger than just what they're doing, because they didn't go a traditional route that they were taught they had to go. You know, and when the world sees that, it's like, of course somebody who's a talented animator is going to get other jobs. It's about exposure, right? It's like why people move to Los Angeles to work in entertainment, because you have the most exposure physically. But you can't always do that, right? Sometimes you have to get the job, or you have to get the opportunity from somewhere else. And I think that that's really exciting about it. And just, you know, as like a representation, like the collective is like the representation to me. It's like it's like what I want in everybody, you know, is kind of what the collective represents. And I think it's really, really amazing. And, you know, I think we could take it even a step further if you know, you talk about, you know, more about like the Skate Gal Club that you started, and how that's personally provided a space for women to get together around skating, to talk about everything from all of their aspirations or the things they're working on as women, but also to create obviously a space where women can get together and safely skate and not feel like a certain amount of judgment, because we know there's that universal stereotype. And I'm sure it's different in different places where women can't play sports, or women can't play this sport. We see a version of it in the US, and I'm sure there's a version of it in Ghana as well. But I think it would be cool to hear more about the Skate Gal Club, and maybe just some examples, you know, and you don't have to obviously name anybody, of how certain women have been able to help each other and are accomplishing some of the things that maybe they came in thinking was never possible.
Yeah, sure. So the Skate Girl Club, I founded that project in 2019. So basically what happened is, like, you know, for the past 5 years, I noticed that just every time we do an event, the girls are coming, but, you know, they're just passive, you know, like they're just at the back and say, congratulations, guys, amazing, but they're not participating to competition or anything. And I felt like, I don't know, even me, you know, sometimes I just feel shy, you know, like shy, reserved, because the guy, I mean, even if it's skateboarding, they want to win, they want to, you know, like show the best tricks, you know, like it's kind of various things, you know, like, and it's just like, as a woman, I always felt like what I love actually in that project is not only skateboarding, is more like the fact that we come together, like, you know, to do an event, we come together to have a drink, we come together to work, we come together to meet people. And I feel like this is what I love the most as a woman, you know. So, and I think even in Ghana or maybe other country, or it's just a feeling as a woman, I felt like we always care for the community, you know, like it's just like it's something inside us, you know, like I always wanted to give more than just for one person, or it's not only about just my pleasure, it's about also giving back to the community, but also feel like it can help more people than just, like me, myself, So when I create the Skate Girl Club, it's just like I feel like we need a safe space for women. And I check online, I did benchmark actually on social media, and I found out that we can definitely organize women only session. And what is it? Is just like a vibe where all the girls get together, like, and they are learning how to skate, and they can talk about their problems, they can laugh, they can feel free, like. And in Ghana, I felt like, okay, that vibe doesn't really exist. You go to school, you stay at your parents' place until you get married, everybody's really strict about it. So if you don't have any different kind of role model, like. So I feel like this project was really interesting because you come with no makeup, with your sneakers, jeans, and you're gonna learn how to skate one day. And you have a DJ set with the Afro house. We do yoga, we do poetry, we sing, like we dance. So it's kind of like a meetup. It's a 3 monthly meetup where all the girls meet and they just try to connect. And what was also interesting is like this event is from 6 years old to 25 years old, and all the girls come together and they are trying also to share their own skills, like, and we support at every event an entrepreneur. So, for example, the first one, it was a brand made in Ghana. The second one, it was a nail artist. Another one was someone who's do gardening class, So every time we try to promote and support or highlight an entrepreneur based in Ghana, you see. So the girls, they just check other role model and they're like, wow, you are a mixologist. I didn't even know that the girl can do that in Ghana. Oh, you are a photographer, filmmaker. That's huge because me, I want to do a video. So let's try to connect, like there is I don't know, there is games, there is things. And after the event, all the girls stay connected, and I feel like it's like a sisterhood, it's like a fraternity, sorority. Is like we all come together, and there is just magic happens, and I love it when I see a mom with her daughter, with a girl with just in high school, and another woman from who just finished university and now she's about to be an entrepreneur, like. So I feel there is so many different background profile, uh, passion, and we're all together and we just have just an afternoon,
Yeah.
to
There,
connect, So yeah.
there's I can't say like a specific example, but there is like times in my life where female friends, I would like find out how good they actually were at something. And I'm like, why don't you do that more? Why aren't you just like bragging about that? And it's like I'm not sure if it's every female, right? But if I've noticed in my life that there's been certain females, then I'm like, wow, you're so good at that. But there's this fear of like being confident sometimes and being good because I think as a male, it's like we're propped up all the time. At least I know, like, oh, you're good at this, do that, do this, right? And of course, I think I still lack from certain confidence issues, but with what you're doing, it's like it gives everybody a chance to be safe to do things they're good at, right? I'd imagine, and then to feel a little bit more confident in being open about those things. And do you see any of these members then kind of show up to some of like the collect, the wider Surf Ghana meetups where there's guys and girls and have a higher level of confidence? Like, do you see examples like that just from being together as a sort of sorority or of such?
Yeah. So what is really amazing is, like, first of all, who teach the girls how to skate is the men from the collective Surf Ghana, So
Right.
that's why for me it's really amazing. It's not like I don't think that we need to be only women all the time, for woman by woman, but I always feel like actually we need more men who support that vibe, like, because they understand that we need to feel safe, but we need also support from men. And when we start that project, like, no men were allowed except the skateboarder instructor, of course. So for them, they were really happy because they have like 100 women just for them. I mean,
Yeah.
like, it's cool. Like, it's no, but to be serious, like, about it, it was for them. It was really huge, and after that, they also understand that it was a necessity to do that. To do that, to give them more confidence. So after that project, what is really interesting is like a lot of girls start skating alone, skating with other girls, but only with girls every weekend. So now they have their own meeting, like they skate every week, and they meet at the National Theater and they skate, etc. And what is nice is because the level has increased, the good level, like now they skate with men, and all the men that support them, that teach them. So I think there's a kind of respect, because now it's not like just one girl, it's like maybe 5, 6, 7. So when you are going to the skate park and you're getting more confidence, like nobody's gonna laugh because there is 6 other women behind you, like, and they also understand that your level is even better than other men, like, so they're getting really confident. I mean, for them, self-esteem is like, it's getting better also. And I feel like sometimes you just need that. I don't really promise them to be a crazy entrepreneur and earn money and everything. Is more like, okay, like that's not easy to live in Ghana as a woman. You have a lot of pressure from the parents, from the school, from the teacher, from the society in general. So I feel like that moment in particular during the week, it's really cool. It's just cool, like it's just like it's nice that it's happening. It's just an opportunity to have leisure time, because I study leisure time in Africa, and I can assure you that I think women has maybe 3 times less leisure time than the men, like, so we need to understand that 1 hour of skateboarding, 2 hours of skateboarding every week is already something really important to improve the well-being of the youth in general. I don't know if you check the number, but anxiety, depression of the youth in general in Africa is huge, like, because they feel the pressure from social media, from people who live in Los Angeles, in London, in other country, and they look at themselves and like, okay, I will never achieve that, like with my life, with the opportunity that I have, etc. So I feel like sometimes when you connect with other women, you just talk about the problem, you understand that, okay, maybe there is even worse than me, like, but there is also other opportunity that they didn't even expect and notify before, so I feel like we give inspiration for them, like, and even me, when I stay with them, I talk to them, and I discover new people, like, because in Ghana we have kind of we don't talk about our problem, like we need to stay strong, everything is fine, like it's the country, like really, like stable, everything is okay, but not the reality. The reality is like people have a lot of problems, but they don't share it, so when you have that moment, even it's 10 minutes, 1 hour, you always connect with someone and you stay in touch, you get the number, and finally the week after you're gonna meet, you're gonna have a drink, you're gonna share a meal, you're gonna skate, and I think it's the beginning of just something new. And yeah, I'm just happy to give that opportunity to the girls in Ghana.
So, boom, as I was watching on the YouTube, I saw that you have a skate house now, which is really tight, that like you have a safe place where like everybody can come and just kick it. And like on the video, y'all were just like having fun, having meetings, like talking, skating, but it was just like it was like a community center, but it was just like so chill and laid back. Can you tell us about that? And where did y'all do before you had the skate house? Like, where would y'all meet up at?
What is really interesting with the skate house is like is the HQ of the collective. Basically, is like 3 years ago. What happened is it was really hard for us to find funding. Like, because the collective doesn't fit. Like with what the NGO want to support in general, what the foundation want to support. They always want to support the kids, their food, like begging for food and a skateboard. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that, like it doesn't, first of all, it's not the reality. Like Ghana is the top 5 of the country in Africa, is modern. We wear Vans. I mean, it's just like, it's just, for me, it's really modern. So I don't want to share that image because it's wrong. Like, of course, there is people in the village and there is people in city, but I'm just saying that I always want to show something which is real, but also which is really modern, aestheticism, like, because I feel like, yeah, we deserve that as Black people. Like, we just live in Africa. It's another vibe, but it's just, it's really beautiful, like, and I always wanted that people come to us and say that we want just to get that vibe. We don't want to support you. We just want to be with you and enjoy our holidays with a cool collective. So I felt like, okay, cool. We don't find any funding. So what we're going to do, we're going to create that house. Because if you check the numbers of the growth of the tourism in Ghana, is like, it's booming. It's 9% per year. That's really crazy. So I was like, okay, if nobody wants to support us, I'm sure we're going to find tourists who's going to support us. And I really believe since the beginning in sustainable tourism, roots tourism, and sport tourism. So what is roots tourism? It's like the fact that you want to reconnect with your ancestor, you want to come back to Africa. Finally, you discover the whole world, but you never, you never take the flight to go anywhere in Africa. So yeah, so I feel there is an opportunity with that. But there is also a lot of people who believe that sports, it's a new way to do tourism, etc. So I felt like creating a skate house was really not a new idea, because it exists everywhere in the world. But I feel like in Africa, it was really new. So we create that skate house where tourists can come and chill with us, get their experience, the vibe of Ghana, but with the collective. So it's not like we're gonna go to a fancy place, etc. It's more like, okay, do you know that kind of bar, really low key, behind the house? Where do you want to eat the best wache, in Ghana? So we're gonna show you around. Do you want to skate with us? Maybe some other people that are filmmaker, photographer, they want to film us. So they just stay at the house, like, so this is the kind of vibe. And I love it because it's really sincere, first of all. We this house is a family house. I want to show you around, but it's just like everybody in that house is like, we understand that we are here to do something really cool, like just work together. So you have a tourist who stay at the house. After that, we're gonna build a skate obstacle together. After that, we're gonna skate together. In the evening, we're gonna cook together. During the night, maybe we're gonna have a drink. And that's the vibe that I love, because I feel like, okay, everybody try to connect through skateboarding. And yeah, there is something happening. And I don't know if it's tourism. I don't know if it's something, I don't know how to explain that, but it's just like, I'm really happy about it. Because for me, it's like, I stay here, but I travel every day, because I meet people from Australia, London, Brazil, Japan, and they're all coming here just to share the vibe of skateboarding in Ghana. And I'm always excited, because I feel like this house is a social house also, because all the skateboarders every day, like at 10, they're always arriving. They put the music, they're checking internet, they use Wi-Fi to work, and they talk to the tourists. I don't know, there is something happening, and I don't know how to explain that, but I think it's the new way to visit a country. Actually, it's like, you are working, you are doing leisure time. You spend time with people, you talk to them. You're not like just taking picture, in the street. Like, you are staying with people who have like really deep conversation, and you try to understand how people live. Like how people do for a living, how they work, how you can support them, but in a way more like sustainable. You listen to them, and I feel like they're considered as equal human, and that's really the difference between other NGOs. Like, they always want to support the kids and the children, and that's fine, but they don't even put a name on the face of someone that they push on social media, but on our collective, when you check the page, you see that everybody has an Instagram page, they have a stories, they have a family, they have friends, they have a vibe, and I feel like, yeah, this is exactly how I want to travel right now. I want to connect with people. I want to share a passion, and I also want to support in a more than way.
Yeah. So like Payne was kind of asking, what did you do before you had the skate house? Like, how did you bring people together, especially knowing how tough it is anywhere to kind of galvanize skaters outside of a certain place that's designated to skating, right? That's kind of like always a problem in skating in general. So what was your process like for those, I guess, 2 years where you didn't have the house, and you were trying to get everybody together?
No, the idea was, first we have a do-it-yourself skate park. So in Mile 7, we are already we are doing meeting there. trade fair, and also national theater is really the three main spots in Ghana where you can skate. So we are doing event there, barbecue, competition, like, so that was the event gather everybody, like, so this is what we did. We worked for the Chalet Wate Festival, for example. Is one of the biggest street art festival in West Africa. It's like even like 40,000 people in the street every year. So we did an event there. We connect us with brands, like we work with festival in Ghana in general. And that's also how we connect and give an easy access to board sports in general, to the main public. It's not only skateboarders, it's also for us a way to invite more people to discover the skate culture made in Ghana. Because on my side, I never really wanted to copy, a strategy in US, or say, okay, this is how they do. It's more like, okay, people here, they love food, they love dancing. So when we do event, it's like Afrobeats, it's drill, it's like customization, it's like food from Ghana and stuff like this. It's just its own vibe, So when you skate here, you feel like, okay, I'm not gonna do that in London or Berlin. I'm gonna do that only in Ghana, and that's exactly the experience that I want to give to people. I want them proud, actually. I want them to feel proud.
It's gonna get, and you're gonna take it to like a whole other level with the skate park, which is really exciting. And I want to get into that. I want to hear about how that vision started and was able to start kind of coming together. And I think it's really interesting to hear too about some of the partners, like I said earlier, you have Virgil and Daily Paper and Vans, and even like some of the local partners like Limbo seems really cool, and kind of what they're doing in the city, I'm sure, is helping in other ways, like, or it kind of ties into what you're talking about when you see what's happening in Ghana. I'm sure like some of the local companies as well tie into that. But I would love to talk a little bit about the skate park and also just some of the partners and how that came together.
Yeah, sure. So about the skate park, the story is just amazing. I connected with Virgil Abloh and Daily Paper actually 4 years ago. 4 years ago already. But we was just on Instagram. It was just like, they share our story, they share our posts, they give us some shout out sometimes. It was really cool. But it was, really a small conversation about they wanted to support, but they didn't really know how. And even us, we were not really ready, like we were not really ready to build a skate park, because when you create a project, you want to have the community first, So me, I was in my mind was more like, okay, we're gonna import skateboards, surfboards, and yeah, we're gonna have more people involved, and maybe after that we're gonna be ready. So it's just maturity, So when we connect with them, it was already cool for us to identify that there is brand who follow us already. So it gives kind of pressure, like to create content and everything. But what it was interesting is like 2 years ago, I participate to an entrepreneurship program from the Bouquet Foundation in Ghana, who support like entrepreneurship in art, culture, and sport. And I created a pitch deck to work on that project, a skate park, like a skate park, but more than a skate park, like a place where we can connect the whole creative scene of Accra. So basically, it's a sport hub and a art hub, where all the skateboarders, but also the artists, they can come, they can work, they can skate, they can eat, and they can buy sport equipment, like so. I pitched that project to Daily Paper and to Virgil Abloh last year. And yeah, they agree straight. Like that was a yes by email, that was a yes by Instagram. And we start doing Zoom call with Virgil, and I invite also Limbo Accra. So what it was interesting is like in that project, you have the native as a base, as a base of the project, they're going to manage the skate park, but they're also the base of the initiative, like they create the idea and everything. So we talk every day, we talk every day with the collective, okay, what we're going to do, when, where exactly, and I draft the project with the whole collective. After that, you have Virgil, who work as an art director, You have Limbo, who work with Virgil and his team, Alaska, which is the agency of Virgil Abloh. And after that, you have Vans, you have Daily Paper, who support financially also the project and come on board, with their network, with their amazing team, and yeah, would definitely help us to grow and give us the wings that we need to connect with more people to achieve the goal of the crowdfunding campaign. So it's a long journey, because it's a lot of call, a lot of conversation. But what I love the most with Virgin and Daily Paper, and General Jefferson Ose from Daily Paper, is like, it's brand who understand who we are, and they respect a lot. They respect us a lot, and they never consider us as an NGO. They always consider us as a team who work hard, a team who create content, like creative, And I feel like even them, they were really inspired by our project, but us, we are really inspired by them, also. And that's why for me, it's an amazing partnership, because the balance is here, like, of course, they have 13 million followers and we have just 13K. So we are really baby, but we have the same mentality. With the same way we think Africa, the same way we think the creative scene in general. Like, when Daily Paper do a campaign, they not just pick people from Netherlands, like they are working with Somalia, with Ghana. They do a pop-up store in Ghana. They really think in a different way. They are already in the future, like, and it's exactly the way we share the same vision. With Surf Ghana, it's not because we are NGO that I want just to do a video, really boring. We're always trying to connect more people, to find all the artists in Ghana to create content, flyers, and everything. So we are really demanding about content creation, in general. And I feel like Virgil really understand that it's not only about skateboarding, it's about creating things can surprise people, like. So we have the same vision. We share the common point is that, like, and that's why for me, I didn't pick that brand because they were really famous. I picked that brand first because they're coming from the diaspora. Virgil Abloh is Ghanaian. Jefferson Ose is Ghanaian. And I felt like for the first time, we really need Black who support Black. For me, it was really important because for the past 5 years, I was begging organizations who are not even in Africa, they don't even understand what's going on. And that's why it was really hard for me to have them on board. But having the diaspora for me was also a way to say, guys, you have exposure, you have everything that you need, but now you need to give back, but now you also need to create here, because all your inspiration of your communication, etc., you get it from here, like, so you need to invest. And I think this is maybe what Virgil and Daily Paper and Jefferson like, because they understand that we don't ask, we don't beg, we create a project, we did a pitch deck, we show them that we are ready to work, we are ready to provide like content, we are ready to do something really huge, like for Africa, we are ambitious. And I think that kind of brand needed that, they didn't want to support a thousand school again, like, and bringing books and t-shirt, to be honest, like, even our brand, like, even Surf Ghana, I never asked Daily Paper and Off-White to give us a t-shirt. Actually, we don't even have one. Like, what was important for us, like, we develop a strategy together to get the funding to build a skate park, And I think that vision is really new, because most of the time, when you ask a brand, they say, oh, we don't have money. But that new generation, they think another way. They say, oh, we don't have money, but if we make a collaboration, we just make a t-shirt and maybe people's gonna buy it. And finally, that's the end. And what happened is, like, they dropped that collection in the pop-up store in Ghana. So for me, it was really new. It's like nobody did that before, because every time we do a crowdfunding campaign is basically online or in their own country. So for the first time, you see a brand like Off-White dropping a collection of a of a t-shirt and other stuff in Ghana. That means the first people who have access to that collection can support the skate park. They are based in Ghana. And what happened, it was crazy. It's like King Promise, Sarkozy, Stoneboy, all the artists in Ghana, they get into the shop and they pay for that t-shirt. will cost $200. Like, we need to remember that.
Yeah, that's very true.
They bought that t-shirt, and that's why it makes me proud, because for the first time we can say to people like, Black people support Black people support Black project. And that was really important for me to have that statement in the first place. After that, if other people want to come on board, I will be really happy. But to launch that project with them have a meaning for me. It's like, we are doing this for the future. We want to show that project as an example of, okay, we are working together, we are building something together, but we can also show to the world that we don't need so much. We just need to support each other, and that's really huge for me, that to have accomplished that part, you know.
It's extremely organic and it's extremely confident, and I think it's only like planting and sort of sowing the seed even more, you know, because obviously they have their own networks, and you know, Virgil is obviously, you know, very famous as a designer and has had extreme success over the last few years, just even with his name and with Off-White. And then Daily Paper is like, to me, the coolest growing fashion brand like in the world. Like, I think Daily Paper is just what they stand for, and the way they move is incredible. So like, you know, when I actually stumbled upon Surf Ghana when I was just reading about Daily Paper more and more, and I sort of saw the collaboration, and it was moves like that that made me just even like them as a brand even more. It was like, they really, really care about who they are, and they really, really care about representing who they are. And I think that's why people love that brand so much too.
And definitely, because there are times where, you know, you aspire to do something, but you see it being done at a high level somewhere else, and it can kind of get intimidating for you to even try to pursue whatever that is, and to see them do it in their own place. Be like, yo, we don't have to go anywhere else. We don't have to go here. We don't have to go to America. We can actually do it right here.
Yeah.
Like, it's special. It's very, very inspiring.
It did. I mean, I genuinely was looking for like, is there a way to buy that collection? And when it had already sold out and I was made aware of it, I was like, how do I get that collection? You know what I mean? But that's like the hype. Like, you did it right, and it's through stuff like selling it in Ghana. You know, it's like, it's just cool. Like, it's automatically culturally relevant, you know, just at that point in so many ways.
I mean, now, so like, how is your vision evolved and surf, like,
yeah, like, where's it at right
like,
now?
where is it at now? Because it started as an Instagram, now it's and then it transitioned into having a community of people, and now it's like, it keeps growing. So like, where is it going now? Like, how is your brain? Like, what's going on in there?
It's really hard to answer, because let's say that we have a lot of idea, you know, like, for example, I want to create content a lot with the skateboarders. Like, for example, we are working at the moment, it's exclusive for you guys, but we are working on a web series in Pidgin, like a tutorial about skateboarding in Pidgin. So I think it's going to be really funny. So again, we are working with, you know, skateboarders. So someone was going to do the voiceover, someone writing the script, another one, you know, like design, I mean, doing motion design, etc. So it's really, really interesting, really inspiring for me to work on that, because it has never been done before, you know. So we are working with a lot of, you know, content creation. For me, it's really, really important, because, you know, in Africa, even in like on social media, we have a lot of pressure to create content. I mean, even you ask us like, what are you doing, you know, what's next, etc. So let's say that for this year, we really focus on that skate park, because, you know, it's not easy to coordinate everybody. We are creating an urban space, you know, so doing a crowdfunding campaign, a successful crowdfunding campaign, is not the only thing to do. You know, you need also to convince the community, you need to find the land, you need to, you know, there is so many things. But for me, it's still our priority. And of course, like, yeah, we want to travel, so we're gonna do a next skate tour, and we want to visit Ivory Coast. So the next skate tour will be between Ghana, the north of Ghana. We're gonna visit Bois, Bolgatanga, Tamale, and we're gonna go to Abidjan, and maybe we're gonna team up with other people in Abidjan, etc. So that's quite exciting for that year. And on that side, we still welcome all the tourists at the house, to enjoy. And sometimes what is really nice also, like, is just like, this is what we plan, okay, but every week we have people calling us to drop a project, I don't know, anything, so that's also what I love with Instagram, is like, we connect with people from Austria, from London, from Germany. Everyone has something in mind for us. So that's really funny. And I think the skateboarders, what they love here is just like, they have people who believe in them, like now. So it's just like, you wake up in the morning and you have not the whole world, but you feel that way, like you feel like it's not just only you, like people check your page, your story, what are you doing, you inspire other people. And I can assure you that that's one of the best feeling that a skateboarder in Ghana can have at the moment. So
gives you
yeah,
purpose.
like just
It gives you purpose when you wake up every day and like you see people actually looking, at what you do and supporting what you do. Like it gives you that thing in your stomach where you're like,
it's working.
This is working. I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing.
Yeah. I'm really happy. I'm really happy about that project. I can assure you guys, it's just like something that I don't plan, but it's just like every time I wake up in the morning, I'm like, sometimes you want to quit, like, because you're tired, you're exhausted. We don't talk about the challenge actually, but I can assure you that project is like, you can't even imagine. Wow, it's really hard every day, but there is always one message per day gonna make my day, like, Sandy, you are doing something amazing. Or they're gonna say, wow, what you achieved with Azuma, or other skateboarders like AJ, Joshua, you made, like, you make something crazy, keep going, like stuff. Otherwise I'm gonna have my mom's calling me in Instagram video and it's gonna say, oh my god, I'm in live Instagram with my daughter. I'm like, mom, please just hang up the phone. So it's just like, no, this project is gather everybody, like, and I feel like that's the most important thing. It's inspiring me every day, even I sit and I don't know sometimes what I'm going to do tomorrow, but there is always someone who's going to call me and, like, give me an idea, or, another perspective. And even you talking to you, I'm sure after that call, we're going to work on something together. I'm sure about it.
Yeah, that's a goal. It's like to me, you're the most inspiring type of entrepreneur. We don't forget for a second that you're an entrepreneur fighting for permits, fighting to build this thing the way it needs to be built and staying true to a vision. But yeah, it's incredible. Incredible.
And I can see, like, as a creative, it is scary to have people depend on you
Yeah.
to show up every single day.
Yeah.
Just to show up. But at the same time, it's easy to show up when you know what you're doing is helping people in a real way.
Yeah. And also when you're not having to fight everybody that's around you to work on it, but you're all working on it together.
Yeah.
It must be a really nice feeling. And it must be sick. Like, when the skate park is up, I'm sure you're going to have people traveling from further out to come hang out at that skate park, people that are maybe even just 2 hours away, how much it'll mean to them to come spend that time in Ghana, and how much it will continue to sort of cultivate and build, Accra and into, what you sort of see can happen there and is happening there.
I'm saying it right now. We will see that skate park.
Yeah, no, we're coming. We already decided that
we will see that skate park.
When that skate park is up, we are making a trip to come see that and to get a glimpse of all of this with our own eyes and to be a part of it.
Definitely.
I would be really happy to host you at the skate house, guys. And I just appreciate, your feedback, because it's always nice to have another point of view about that project. And sometimes, I use my computer every day making 20,000 calls, and sometimes I just forget that what we achieved so far, and also the new opportunity and what we can do, so. First of all, I wanted to say that yesterday, really funny, one of the skateboarders said, Sandy, we should do a podcast, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, guys, we have so many things to do. I don't even know how to start that. And I was like, okay, so now officially I can ask you maybe you could be interested for mentoring, you know, like maybe have a Zoom class or something to teach us how to set up our
100%.
own
Anything that
podcast, you know, like it could be really cool. And yeah, that's something that I'm gonna ask you now, but you need to have the time to think about it. But I will be really interesting to have you on board in that way. For example, it could be really dope. Like,
I was gonna say we want to connect offline to find ways to help you however we can, connecting you with people we know. But if that's something that's important, we should dive more into that. And
I'm 100%.
yeah, we're in.
down.
Like I already know we're in. Whatever we have to do to help make that happen for y'all, we're here.
nice.
Yeah,
I can't wait. I can't wait.
yeah.
But anytime you want to come to Ghana, you are welcome. Yeah, you're gonna meet all the skateboarders, and I will be really happy to host you here. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait either. Thank you so much for this. This was incredible. And I'm so glad we have this relationship, and I'm I'm so excited to see where this goes.
Yeah,
Like I look at
yeah.
the renders of the skate park, you know, and this video will have a bunch of visuals added to it, so people can that are watching can kind of see. But it's like it's just incredible. Like it's
special.
amazing. You know, you just want to be there. And I know it's gonna be even better than it even looks or sounds right now.
Thank you so much, guys, for your kind words. And
Thank
yeah,
you. Thank
me too. I'm always happy to share, you know, our project, our story, and our experience to maybe, you know, some of the people who's gonna listen to you. They're gonna have other ideas and gonna connect with us. I don't know. I just also really happy to share that. So thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate.
Of course, of course. No, thank you for coming and sharing the platform with us, and I'm excited for your story to get out to a lot of people who don't know it, and to people who are and to women, Black women who aspire to do something that's different and step outside of the box. And I think your story will resonate with a lot of people. So thank you for coming and helping us and sharing your story.
Yeah, thank you, Sandy.